While it is somewhat true that living alone, especially as you get older, is a tranquil and liberating experience that allows you to do as you please without interruptions or obligations to others, there is another side to the story that is rarely discussed, things you won't hear until you're living it yourself. Let's talk about the aspects of living alone as an older person that people don't tell you about and how you can make the most of it. I've gathered wisdom from countless platforms and forums, and I want to share what most people are saying. This isn't just my experience. It's a collective one from those who have walked this path before. And it's not all bad, it's just real. First and foremost, you must be your own emergency backup. The realization that you are your own safety net. No one else is around to notice if something goes wrong is one of the biggest surprises of living alone in your later years. I've read about folks who collapsed because no one was regularly checking on them or lost for hours or even days. As a precaution, one Redditor mentioned that they had to start always having their phone with them, even in the shower. Even if this may seem a bit drastic, it's wise to consider your safety in advance. If you live in a more distant place or don't have nearby neighbors, you might want to think about wearing a smartwatch or medical alert device. It's one of those safety measures that provides comfort and allows you to live alone with assurance. For instance, I recall a woman posting on an internet forum that she had installed an emergency key lock box outside her home, so that family members or trusted acquaintances could enter in the event of an emergency without smashing any windows. 2. Even for introverts, loneliness can be a serious problem. Even the most solitary persons can experience loneliness, especially as they age. Most people believe that living alone is a dream for introverts, and for the most part it is. Many forum users claim that their social networks have gotten smaller over time. Friends have retired, moved away, or died, and it can be harder to make new connections. In a forum, an elderly guy described how he would go days without speaking to anyone he cared about. Although he cherished his independence, he missed the informal conversations that came with having a roommate or companion nearby to discuss trivial topics like the weather or dinner plans. For some, adopting a pet has been the answer. You get a sense of routine, responsibility, and company from having a pet. My cat may not speak, but he's always there when I come home, and that makes all the difference, a lady posted on a site. Third, maintaining your house can be too much to handle. Keeping up with housework is one item that becomes increasingly challenging as one ages and is rarely discussed. Our energy levels fluctuate as we age, making chores like vacuuming, mowing the yard, and cleaning gutters more taxing. I've read a number of accounts of elderly folks who neglected particular tasks because they were too tired or didn't want to do them. One woman described how she kept a list of household tasks that needed to be completed but ultimately put off doing the majority of them. It was simply too much to handle on her alone, even if it weren't because she didn't care about her house. Do not be reluctant to seek assistance if you find yourself in this situation. You might ask family members and friends to help out sometimes or pay someone to do the hard work. And if money permits, think about you will have more time to enjoy the things that are important when you downsize to a smaller living area, because there will be less upkeep and concern. It's okay if your daily routine becomes sacred. Numerous personal accounts made clear how important daily routines are when you live alone and don't have a roommate or partner to share chores or impromptu plans with. Your stability comes from your routine. These routines help you stay grounded, whether it's your favorite TV show in the evening, your afternoon walks, or your morning coffee on the porch. In order to infuse the peaceful home with vitality, a woman in her 70s said that she begins her mornings by playing the same song while preparing breakfast. Another man talked about how he enjoyed watering his plants each night. He claimed that the sense of direction and organization it provided his day was just as important as the plants. That has a certain beauty. Don't allow anyone convince you that following a strict schedule is a negative thing. Living alone is made remarkable by these little, commonplace occurrences. You have influence over your life because of these routines. 5. Preparing meals for one person can be challenging, but gratifying. One of those unforeseen challenges is cooking for oneself. You don't have to cook large meals when you're older and living alone, and sometimes it seems like too much work to prepare an entire meal for one person. I've heard innumerable accounts of individuals choosing to rely on takeout or frozen meals because they're more convenient. But as one woman said on a forum, discovering that cooking for yourself may completely alter your viewpoint. It becomes more about the care you're giving yourself than it is about the work. On the weekends, try cooking in bulk or preparing meals that you can consume over several days. Some people have enjoyed trying out new dishes. In the long term, cooking for oneself is a healthier and more economical choice. And if you approach it as a pastime rather than a duty, you may discover that it turns into a small act of self-care and serves as a reminder that you are worth the effort. 6. There are advantages and disadvantages to the silence. When someone starts living alone, silence is something they don't anticipate hitting them as hard, especially if they're accustomed to a busy home or a full-time job. Particularly in the nights, the house may seem overly silent. That item is upsetting to some people, yet it thrives for others. In order to add some noise to the air while performing her tasks, one elderly woman revealed that she had begun to leave the radio on in the background, whether it's music, audiobooks, or television. Another man claimed that he uses podcasts to feel as though someone is speaking to him throughout the day. On the other hand, finding methods to end the silence can have a significant impact. Besides, it's crucial to make physical activity a conscious decision, particularly if you live alone. There may be fewer reasons to get up and move when you live alone, especially as you get older, unless your roommate or spouse is urging you to go for a walk or engage in activities together. It's simple to adopt a sedentary lifestyle. Numerous forum participants have acknowledged that they become less physically fit after living alone for a while. One man talked about how he gradually stopped going for daily walks and started to spend more time sitting down. It wasn't until my body began to stiffen up that I realized how much less active I was. When you are the only person encouraging yourself to be physically active, it takes more intention. Including physical activity in your daily routine is a smart strategy to keep yourself healthy. Your well-being can be greatly impacted by even little actions, such as joining a local fitness class for senior citizens, stretching lightly in the mornings, or setting a daily step target. This is the only reason one woman I read about chose to have a dog. The dog must be able to walk so she can move. It's not necessary to go to the gym to get too much exercise. Gardening, dancing in your living room, or using the stairs rather than the elevator can all count. In addition to its physical benefits, moving your body improves your mood, helps you think more clearly, and increases your awareness of time. May change in ways that are not anticipated. The impact of living alone on one's relationship with time is another topic that is rarely discussed. You can lose track of the day, the week, or even the month if you aren't able to keep up with the rhythms of someone else in the house. Many users on the internet have said that time either passes too slowly or passes by without anyone noticing. After his retirement and the death of his spouse, a guy said in a forum that he sometimes couldn't tell what day it was or even what time it was. This occurs when you are no longer able to organize your day using outside cues like your partner's work schedule or your kids' activity. Fortunately, you are capable of establishing your own rhythm. For some, maintaining a flexible schedule is beneficial. For instance, you may assign particular duties to particular days. Mondays are for grocery shopping, Thursdays are for housework, and so forth. Others find it beneficial to partake in activities that create anticipation for particular periods of the day or week, such as cooking special Sunday dinners, gardening in the afternoons, or going to a weekly class. While it's crucial to monitor the passing of time, you should also give yourself permission to appreciate it. Living alone allows you to plan your days according to your own schedule, which is a blessing. 9. Living alone makes decluttering both simpler and more difficult. The clearing process assumes a new meaning. On the one hand, the procedure may go more smoothly, because no one is present to debate over what should be kept or thrown out. Conversely, everything in your house, every picture, book, and piece of furniture becomes a representation of your life. Objects hold memories, and it can feel more intimate to let go of them. I recall reading a comment from an elderly woman who had lived alone for years. She talked about how she kept items even though she knew she didn't need them, since they held nostalgic value. "It's just me, so why should I hold on to these things?" she asked. "However, I question if I really want to let someone else handle all of this." A large number of members of online communities stress how emotionally taxing it is to declutter when you live alone. Things acquire a greater significance, and parting with them feels like the end of a chapter in your life. But simplifying also brings freedom. To make life easier for himself and his family, a man in his late 60s revealed how he made the decision to reduce his possessions. He claimed that knowing that his house felt more manageable provided him peace of mind. Making your space represent who you are now, not who you were in the past, is the goal of decluttering. When you're older and alone, it's not about simplicity for the sake of it. While it's acceptable to hold on to the things that make you happy, it can be freeing to let go of things that no longer serve you. Begin modestly, focus on one area at a time, and give yourself permission to experience the feelings that accompany it. This is your space after all, and you may mold it whatever you like. 10 social invitations may go down, but you still need to have fun. The decline in social invites is one unexpected aspect of living alone as you age. Friends and family may become less interested in group activities, as they progress into different stages of life, busy with their families, careers, or even moving away. It's not that they stop caring about you. Some forum users mentioned that they had noticed that they were no longer frequently asked to events, which can be somewhat alienating. I used to wait for my phone to ring, but I've come to realize that I need to be proactive. One lady wrote in a thread, "This is really helpful tip. Make your own social life rather than waiting for invitations. It may be as easy as setting up a book club, asking a friend for coffee, or throwing a movie night in your living room. You get to design the fun around your interests, which is the finest part of hosting or planning it." A man in his 60s talked of forming a walking club in his neighborhood, where a small group would get together on Sundays to explore various local trails. It allowed him to accomplish what he liked while staying engaged and connect. You have more freedom to plan your social life when you live alone, so make the most of it. Have a DIY night with friends. If you enjoy making, arrange a weekly watch party. If you have a favorite TV program, others will follow if you are the one who makes the first move. 11. Self-care can be neglected, but when you live alone, it becomes much more crucial. Nobody will notice if you haven't bothered to prepare a decent lunch, or if you have been wearing the same outfits for 3 days. It's simple to get into a pattern of neglecting your health. Many forum users acknowledge that living alone can occasionally make one wonder, who am I doing this for? The problem is that you're doing it for yourself. One man described how following years of he realized that he was ignoring little things, like missing meals, because he was living alone. I had to remind myself that I deserved the same care and attention I would give to someone else, he stated, referring to my lack of regular showers and excessive sofa time. Taking care of your mental health is just as important as taking care of your physical appearance and diet. This includes scheduling regular checkups with your doctor, getting adequate sleep, and doing things that make you feel good. When you're alone yourself, self-care is essential. One woman described her evening ritual of reading a book, donning a face mask, and lighting candles. Although it's a simple routine, she performs it for herself in order to feel cared for. Prioritize taking care of yourself. Get dressed in the morning, even if you're not going somewhere. Prepare meals you enjoy, and treat yourself in any way that makes you feel good, even if no one else is present to observe. Even though you live alone, you still deserve the best care possible, and you are the only one who can provide it for yourself. Although living alone as an older person presents challenges, it can also be incredibly fulfilling because you have the freedom to design the life you want, which is precious. However, keep in mind that it's okay to ask for help, prepare for the unexpected, and rely on others when necessary. You've come this far, and there's still a lot to look forward to. So surround yourself with the things that bring you joy, whether that's a garden, a pet, or your favorite book. When the difficult times come, remember that you're not really alone. There's a whole community of people who are just like you navigating life. If you enjoy this video, please leave a comment and subscribe to ensure you don't miss any of our future videos.